So today we're going to be chatting about recessions in the beauty space. Right? You know, good economies or bad economy, it really just doesn't matter. Our industry grows year over year. So in terms of you looking into a profession, you've chosen wisely. You know, if you look at certain segments of the economy, like construction, does anyone know anybody in 2008 to 2013 that was in construction? And how did that go? Yeah, it was terrible. Okay, so nothing was getting built, everything was getting foreclosed on. Okay, and then in that time frame, around 2010, gas prices went through the roof. And what did guys go do? Not just guys, but what did people go do? Where did they find jobs? Oil fields. And they were making money, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know those guys? Anybody know anyone that went out to the oil fields and they were just driving big trucks and they had sleds and they were just spending money, weren't they? And then gas prices came back down in alignment, and they are where they are now. It's not to say that in the oil fields that it's not, that there's money not being made, but not at the same level. So in a 30-day period of time, because of how oil prices were fluctuating, 250,000 people lost their jobs, just like that. Okay, so when we look at things like construction's good when the economy's good. Working in the oil fields is good when gas prices are up. So we are an industry that is not. You want that light off, maybe?
And just
Right there.
that's better.
All right. Yeah, there you can see looks like the sun is shining or something. But so we're not an economy or we're not an industry that's based on how commodities are trading or where construction is going or what the economy is doing. We are an industry that is solely driven by relationships. Okay, so more than just the service that you provide. In fact, in my opinion, there's the three things that you need to be focused on are: one, the relationship with the client, most important; two, the service that they came for; and then three, business steps. And if you'll do those three things, I believe that you'll be able to go out and really have a very successful, rewarding career. So anyway, today we are going to talk about how the economy affects us and some of the industry leaders and a little bit of their history. But I like this quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It says, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly." And that's what I think it really resonates with this student body. Has anybody had someone tell you, "Oh, that's stupid, don't go get involved in the beauty industry"? I mean, we see that regularly. "Oh, you weren't smart enough to go to regular college, so you have to go to trade school." I would actually flip that around and say, you were smarter to come to a trade school than to go spend 4 years getting a history degree and ending up with $50,000 in debt. You tell me where that's a smart idea. And so I get a little charged about it because I regularly hear that from you, that people are saying, "Well, they said I was too stupid to go to regular school." And no, you are just fine. And anybody that tells you that you can't do it, don't listen to them. Listen to me, because I believe that you can. And I see that in our graduates that get out there and work hard and follow the steps and build a business that they are loving going to work every day and making and having a very rewarding career path. So, but if we look at the beauty industry and recessions, there's three companies that I want to discuss today. The first one being Revlon. So Revlon started right during the Great Depression. So during the Great Depression, there was about over 22% unemployment. And it was a difficult time. I wasn't alive in the Great Depression, so quit asking me how was the Great Depression. My grandparents were, but anyway, it was three guys started this company. and they had one product, and that product was red nail polish. Okay, so during the most economic trying time, not just in the United States but globally, these three guys became millionaires by selling red nail polish. The nail polish had never been around, so they invented this, and here you go. And it allowed people to paint their nails red and then look at their nails. Okay, does that seem like vanity maybe slightly? But I don't know. It's like when the world's coming to an end and financially you're in dire straits, and being able to go, oh, but my nails look good. I mean, there's something to be said about that, right? So yeah, you got red nail polish on today, or some of it anyway. So that was they did that within a 6-year time in the worst economic trial that has ever been known. So anyway, so that's Revlon, one product. Now Revlon is, where do they sell a lot of their products? Walmart, grocery stores, right? And they have some other lines that are outside of that, but it's price pointed, tends to be lower end, but again, started in the Great Depression, made these guys a lot of money, and still a very strong company. L'Oreal started in Paris with a guy that was who had come or a chemist that built hair color. And that's what he was out selling, was hair color to Parisian stylists. And so that's where it started. And so if you look at L'Oreal today, they are one of the bigger conglomerates, I can't say that word anyway, out there. They own a lot of product lines. So if we look at some of the product lines that they own, Kerastase, Redken, Pureology, this is more pages of all the product lines that L'Oreal owns. Diesel, Ralph Lauren, Urban Decay. Have you ever heard any of these companies? Mm-hmm. So there's another page of it, but my slide is all skiwampus. But I mean, they, in addition to these professional lines, they own a lot of the box color lines that are in grocery stores. So L'Oreal is all about wanting to own the world. I don't know that they're the biggest. I think Schwarzkopf's probably a little bigger than they are, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they own a lot of product lines. They have my recollection is they have 3 labs throughout the world, and employ somewhere around 2,000 chemists. So a chemist at that level of working in a lab is a high-paid individual, tends to be. And they're doing all the research and design and making sure that products do certain things, and the smells are there, and all this. So L'Oreal spends millions of dollars every year in research and development, and all for shampoo, conditioners, things like that, styling agents. So again, a company that started in 1907, went through the Great Depression, has been getting after it, buying up product lines that capture market share, and trying to really own the beauty space. Ever heard of Estee Lauder? Okay, Estee Lauder, where do you see Estee Lauder products?
Dillard's, Macy's.
Okay, so it tends to be in the higher end department stores. So the Estee Lauder was formed, husband-wife team formed near the end of the Great Depression. Their whole thing though was hey, we're going to have high-end lines. They own Bumble and Bumble now. Anyway, they are dealing primarily with lines that you're not going to typically find in Walmarts or Targets unless it was diverted. Liz.
This is probably a dumb question, but so the lines that are sold at that L'Oreal owns, like Revlon or not Revlon,
right,
what they own, and then they have the higher end lines. Is there really that big of a difference in the product, or is it just pre-packaged, different packaging that makes it look better and more expensive?
So great question. So the question was, are the high-end lines and the product lines and the low-end lines, is there a big difference between the two? And in some cases, I'm going to say yes. In terms of the product itself, cost, I don't think is significantly higher. In fact, I've looked at manufacturing, and a lot of times the bottle you put it in is more expensive than the product that you're putting in it. So, but I think I do think that some of the lines do invest more in ingredients and higher end ingredients. But at the end of it, if you look at the margins that they have, a lot of times, and I could be wrong, I'm not in the manufacturing arena, but I've seen that in the little bit that I've delved into it, that there are high margins irrespective of the cost of the product. There's high margins in manufacturing. And just digressing slightly, but you can go out and find companies that will white label a product for you and put your logo on a product, and then you're able to then, so it could be Liz's, whatever, you know, and so that you can go to find a chemist that will build you what you want too, and it can get expensive. I mean, in terms of doing runs and doing those type of things, but these product companies are doing it for a reason, and it's because these things have pretty large, substantial, strong margins in them, and if they're selling the volume, then they're fat and happy. So, but a great question. So Estee Lauder, if we look at Estee Lauder, though, they're also a company that likes to acquire, or in the past, and there's kind of been a shift in how some of these companies' philosophy in terms of acquiring companies. But in 2010, Estee Lauder bought Smashbox. Have you ever heard of Smashbox? It's a makeup line. So 2010, the reason that that's a significant date was, you know, you're right in the middle of this economy that we went through back from 2008 to 2013, that it was terrible. And here they are buying a company all because they were capturing market share in the makeup line. And so it doesn't matter to these product companies. They want to see growth year over year, but whether it's a good economy or a bad economy, they're not really as concerned, because they know if they're capturing market share, that life is good, because the margins on these products are very high. So why then are these companies thriving either in a good economy or a bad economy? What is it? And I guess some of the answers to the question that I'm asking are up on the screen now. But what do you think? Why is it that product companies, talking product companies specifically, are doing well, whether it's a good economy or a bad economy?
It's easy to buy something small to make yourself feel better.
Okay, so there is this, I feel better, right? These companies spend millions of dollars, in research and development. And a lot of that is, how do I make this product smell good, in addition to get the results that I want? Did you have another?
People are willing to scrounge up their pennies to get their hair, their skin taken
Yeah.
care of. It's part of your image. It's part of what makes you feel like yourself. And
Yeah.
people are willing to forego coffees or lunches or something so they can get their hair done. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
because when someone buys into a product and they really truly believe it, and kind of coming back to your question, Liz, is that these higher end products really do work. Do the lower end products work as well? Not always. Some of the shampoos that are lower end, I think, is the same product they use to strip floors, quite honestly. But anyway, that's when you are used to a smell and you're used to what it does to your hair. Because if you get up in the morning, so in my beard, if I don't put I have a styling product I put on my beard, and if I don't put it on my beard, what do you think my beard does? I mean, it kind of does it anyway, but yeah, just like it sticks straight out. It's like, well, then that looks terrible, and it's time to shave my beard. But I'm keeping my beard through the winter because I want it to be warmer, and because I grew a beard, we have a very warm winter, so you can thank me now. So there you go. But people now talking about services. So they want the products because the products smell good, they're used to the products, it gets them the results, it helps them feel good about who they are. I mean, the products do all these things. And when they use the products and smell the products, either consciously or subconsciously, if you're the one that recommended the product to them and they love that product, they're thinking of you. Okay, again, subconsciously or consciously, you're coming to mind. So then what is it about the services, though, that is driving? again, what we see in a down economy, so people, wages could be down, they could be out of a job, finances could be an issue, but they still keep coming for their appointments. Why is that?
They've made it a priority.
Okay, so they've made it a priority to look good. The relationship, okay, absolutely. So relationships matter. They look good. They feel good. Hopefully, you are part of their therapy in life, and they can share their deepest, darkest secrets with you. That again, coming back to that relationship that you have with your client. And this is something I discuss with some frequency, but you need to pay attention to how the economy is doing. And right now, if you listen to politicians, the Barack Obama camp says you can thank Barack Obama for this strong economy. The Trump, what's his first name? Donald. Man, I forgot his first name. He's gonna throw me in jail for this if he ever sees this. But Donald Trump wants to take credit for what he's done, and my thing is, both of you guys can shut up because it's the micro businesses that drive the economy, and just get out of our way. And I'm not saying one guy's better than the other, but I have my opinion there too, which I won't share. But I'll say that at the end of the day, I don't believe either of them are helping me. I'm helping me. You're helping me. Okay, and again, if the government would just get out of the way. But what we see in down economies is, and yeah, when it's a down economy, then the other guy wants to blame the predecessor. I mean, you know the thing, but is that people are trying to save money. Okay, and so they're going to come for their appointments, but they try to stretch those appointments. And so during this recession, what we saw was, if we look at annually where the revenue comes from, almost half of the revenue annually in the beauty space comes from hair color. It's like 45% of it. So close to half of our revenue in the beauty space is coming from hair color. So that's a significant part of what we do. Now, what we were seeing as an industry is that people were going without hair color, but they were still coming in for their cut and their style. And so our industry, where everyone wants to look at us like, again, oh, you're too dumb to go to regular college, what our industry said was, hey, we still want color appointments. And so this is my opinion of what happened. So our industry has said, hey, we still want appointments. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow for you to currently have 8 inches of regrowth. We're going to call it ombre, and you're going to be in less frequently, but you're still going to come in for your color appointments. And so again, we put a French-sounding name on it. We maintain that color relationship, and we still get that service. So kudos to the beauty space, because we're smart about that. And it's what the beauty space did, in my opinion, was looked at what does the client need, and the client needs to go longer between appointments. So let's allow that, because you tell me when it was ever fashionable to have 8 inches of regrowth. Okay, it was never fashionable, and then we made it fashionable. Okay, so now the economy's coming back. We still see some ombre, don't we? Because I think it looks good, but we're seeing that the ombre isn't it isn't the #1 color service like I think it got to at one point. But there's 3 factors that go into you having a full client base, and 2 of them you get to decide, and 1 you get to try to influence. And during a down economy, what we see is that one of these factors does get pounded on slightly, and so we need to be aware of that. But the 3 factors that go into you figuring out how many clients you need, and this is high probability, like 90-some-odd high percentage of accuracy. But if you say, how many days a week do I want to work, and I multiply that by the number of clients I want to see, and then I multiply that by the frequency at which my clients come back in. So on average, my clients come in every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it is, okay? Because nails, it's probably closer to 2 weeks. Aesthetics, it's probably somewhere between 2 and 4. And cause, it's probably somewhere between 4 and 8, depending on the services that they get. So the example then is, if I want to work 5 days a week, and I want to see 5 clients in a day, and my clients come in every 5 weeks, then I need to multiply those 3 numbers together, and it tells me, again, with high accuracy, how many clients I need to be busy. So in this case, it'd be 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Okay, so now what we see, though, in a down economy is that instead of every 5 weeks, clients are trying to save money, and so they'll try and stretch that a little bit. You need to embrace that, okay? Nails, I mean, there's nothing you can do. They're going to come, so don't fret there, I believe. Women that get their nails done are always getting their nails done, right? But anything that we can do to help the client stretch that appointment, we should be trying to do. So realize that as we stretch that appointment, though, we are going to create gaps in our week because one of our multipliers just increased, which means now I need more clients. So typically in most markets, it's a 20 to 30% range of increase in clients that's needed for us to get back to where we're busy, or right back to where we're sitting, right? Where we're seeing our 5 clients a day. Some markets, like if we look at Las Vegas, so during that recession, Las Vegas got hit hard. I guess not as many people were gambling maybe or whatever it was. I mean, you could go to Las Vegas and buy a house for 50% off. But then you'd have to live in Las Vegas. Now everyone, if there's anyone from Las Vegas watching, they just stop watching there. Anyway, but what happens though is by paying attention. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. You're going to need to pay attention. You need to know what is the economy really doing, not what does the one party over the other party want to say it's doing, not what is the news doing, it's what is it doing. And these are the things that you can look at to help you determine how is the economy doing in your city. Okay, how are houses selling? What is new construction looking like? Is there new business? These are the things you need to know. Okay, in our market, housing is slowing down, but it's still better. New construction is through the roof right now. There's new businesses coming to the area, so those are all promising things. So those are the things you need to be looking at, because as housing sales slow down, as auto sales slow down, those are indicators that, hey, people aren't spending the same amount of money, and when people don't spend the same amount of money, that's what impacts our economy. Okay, so if you pay attention to that, and life's good, you're working hard, you're busy, and then all of a sudden you start seeing, oh, why do I have a Saturday where I'm not booked solid? And then that's when you start doing maybe a little bit of research, and you start seeing that, oh, well, house sales are down, car sales are down, new construction's down, all those things are happening. So now what you need to do is add more clients. And so, and we've seen that with people that work in the beauty space, that when they get busy and they're working hard, they're not focused on adding new clients because they've got enough clients. But then when a down economy does start to hit, then they're like standing there going, what is going on? Well, what's going on is clients are stretching their appointments. And as clients start to stretch the appointments, there's a ripple effect that's going to happen, and that's going to start creating gaps in your day. So you need to be aware of that so that you can start adding new clients. Okay, so if you're smart, and which I know you are, you pay attention, you see that's happening, I add the clients, I'm right back to where I was, I can actually still keep growing my business, which is exciting. And then, so economies go up and down. There's, one political party over the other will take claim for when it's good and blame the other when it's bad, right? And the reality is, I don't really know that they're influencing it that much. But when an economy's up, hey, get out there, work hard, enjoy the ride. When the economy comes back down, paying attention, I add the clients. Then the economy starts coming back up. Okay, now you've just let's say you went from 125 clients that you needed up to 150, okay? So now you're at 150 clients, and the clients have been stretching their appointments. That's why we had to add the extra clients. Now they're starting to feel good about their finances, right? So do they want to keep stretching that appointment? No, they want to go back to their regular maintenance program. So now they do that. So instead of being every 7 weeks, they go back to every 5 weeks, okay? What does that do to you? What do you think? Yeah, it makes it so that you have too many clients, quite honestly. So this is where our industry needs to be smart and needs to be, because I see it all the time. I go in and someone's prices are the same as maybe the school's prices, or they're the same that they've been for 10 years. every single year, whether it's a good economy or a bad economy, the cost of living goes up slightly. So you should look every single year to put your prices up slightly to match that. Okay, I don't think you need to double your prices, but I do think you need to look and say, okay, every single year I want to take a slight pay raise and I want to stay up with the cost of living. So what is a fair number? It's probably somewhere around 5 to 6%. If you were to increase your prices annually 5 to 6%, it's not a drastic increase, and you stay ahead of the game. Okay, so things that we can do during a good economy. Okay, we're coming out of a bad economy. I've added all the clients. Now my clients are starting to come in with more frequency. I'm starting to see, hey, I'm real busy. So your time becomes the commodity here. Okay, because you only have so much time in a day that you can work, and you're valuing that time at whatever you're going to value that time at. Okay, and that's based off of your prices. But if your time is becoming so valuable that you can't get everybody in, then it's just like anything else. That time now being a commodity needs to go up in price so that I can offset some of this busyness. Okay, so if I go up in price, I might lose some of my clients. Is that okay? Yeah, you're still going to make more money. You're still going to be busy. We don't like to see clients leave, and if you do this, my recommendation is that you look at this point, if you're coming out of a slump, bad economy, going into a strong economy, that's when you should be deciding, is it time for me to open my own salon? Because I have all these extra clients, I could go open up my own salon, I could pass off some of my extra clients to the new kids that are working with me. I could take the increase, I could try to pass them off to people in my salon if I don't want to go open up my own salon, please.
I'd say also, like, in that time when the economy's going back up, you can weed out some of your bad clients.
Yeah.
Like where they don't come on time.
Yeah.
They're not always rescheduling.
Yeah, I just agree. I mean, when you're first out of school, you got to take what you can get, right? But I totally agree with what you're saying. At some point, you need the right clients. And the right clients value your time. And the right clients show up on time. And the right clients refer people to you. And the right clients rebook their appointments. And the right clients buy product from you. And if clients aren't the right clients, then we need to start lovingly getting rid of those people. And it's not anything that I'm trying to say bad about them. That's just who they are, right? And you need to find the right clients. And the right clients will help you build a strong business, successful business that allows you and affords you the lifestyle that you deserve and want out of this. Okay, so great point. So this is something I would like you to put to paper, though, and say, okay, if I want to work this many days a week and I want to see this many clients in a day, and my clients come back in with this frequency, what is your number? Because you got to get to that number. Okay, and I'll say that now is an exciting time to be in the beauty space with the way social media works and referrals work and things like that you can really build a business quicker than you ever could before. It's not overnight, but we are seeing people in a 6-month period of time get busy, and that's phenomenal. So these are the trends that we see during a recession, and we've kind of been discussing these. Is that the clients still come for their appointments? That's trend number one. So that's good news, right? So I'm not losing my client, but they do tend to stretch their appointment a little longer, or they might start eliminating certain additional services that maybe you've been providing for them, or they might get them every other time, but they're looking to save money. So as a good service provider and as a good business person, you should look for ways to help them do that. So during that recession, when I went to a training in Las Vegas that was put on actually by Redken. It's called Symposium, which I highly recommend if you decide to carry Redken, you personally, that you go to their symposium because it is phenomenal. But they had a class built on how do we color people's hair, and it wasn't ombre, but it was how do we color people's hair so that it lasts longer. So it's like, I still want the color appointment. I'm willing to go a few weeks between appointments to maintain that relationship. And so the product companies are looking for ways to help you help your client, but maintain the relationship. Clients are looking for added value during this time too. And I'm not saying that you give things away, but whether that's maybe a hand massage between appointments or between while product is processing or whatever it might be. I tell the story that I have a friend. He sold his oil changing company up here. He still has one down the road, but I would go to him to get my oil changed, but I wanted to go to Jiffy Lube because Jiffy Lube gave me free pop and free popcorn. And so it was an added value that Jiffy Lube was offering, and his shop wasn't. Okay, I never told him this. I probably should, but anyway, but just that little added value of a free can of soda and some crappy popcorn made it a moral dilemma of, do I support my friend or a big corporation, you know, and all over 75 cents, you know, so I can be bought for 75 cents apparently. So, but anyway, these are the things that we need to be aware of and looking to help my client. Because that's all that we're doing is, hey, I want to help you get through this crappy economy. Because the economy is going to come around. It just always does. I can't say that I believe that the economy is strong. I think it's in a better place than it was during 2008 to 2012, 13. But it's definitely, to me, it seems a little wonky. And I don't understand it, but I'm just going to put my head down and work hard. That's what I recommend to you. But again, looking at how are auto sales in the city I live in? How is home sales in the city I live in? What is new construction doing? And those are all things that anybody can readily find. So when we can see that an economy is changing, then we have to have the position of, I am going to go get after it. If you just sit back and wait for things to happen and organically grow your business, it will grow, it just takes longer. So if you have the attitude of, okay, I am a Viking type person, I'm in my boat, I land on the shores, I burn my boat, and now I have to conquer to be able to leave. Okay, so that's kind of the philosophy that has to be had, is my boat is burned, I'm in this industry, I'm going to get after it, and then I'm going to build a boat and move on. Okay, so the ways that we attack it is we need to embrace the fact that my clients have to stretch or need to stretch. I'm going to add more clients to my client load, and it's in most markets it's a 20 to 30% increase. And I don't know if I finished my thought, but Las Vegas was about a 62% increase because that city got hit so hard. I need to start educating my client, taking time with my client that you should always do, whether it's a good economy or bad economy. But when things are going good, sometimes we look to cut corners. But we should educate the client on all the services that we offer, so that as they're in their circle of influence and one of their friends says, oh, I need an eyebrow wax, the fact that they know that you can do an eyebrow wax will get you a new client, potentially. Okay, so don't be lazy there. That's the one thing I'll say is, because I see it as I visit salons and talk to people and they're working on their clients and they're finishing up and the client pays them and then they leave without selling them product, they leave without rebooking their appointment, and they leave without discussing to them all the services that person can provide them. So during a down economy, you need to work hard on educating your client on all the services that you can offer them. We need to take the time to educate them on the products. And that should always be a part of what you do. You should always be looking to educate someone and retailing product to them, irrespective of your opinion of what they can or cannot afford, because that's not your call, that's their call. You need to educate them on the products. It was said in an article, and I need to keep these articles, but it was said that salons that will stay open will sell $50 more in retail in a month or a day. $50 more a day in retail. What's $50 more a day in retail? How many products is that? Two, potentially 2 to maybe 3 more products a day was the difference between salons that would keep their doors open and salons that wouldn't. So realize that retail is a big part of that, and that you need to get good at retail. So if you're afraid of retail, get over it. And I know that's easier said than done, but you need to be using the product yourself. You need to be just making a recommendation that they purchase it, but you definitely need to be educating them on the products as you introduce the product to them during the service. And then, we have a 9-step system that we bark at you a little bit, don't we? And it's during down economies, we definitely need that to be a focal point, and it should always be. Okay, there's never a step in there that could be eliminated, in my opinion. And so you need to be especially good as times get tough. And as you first come out of school, you need to be hungry, right? And being hungry starts setting the precedent of, I always do the 9 steps, and it doesn't matter who it is. And if you'll do those 9 steps, I know I can say that I've watched my graduates that do and my graduates that don't. My graduates that do tend to grow their business quicker, and I don't worry about them. The graduates that they just leave saying, I'm done doing those 9 steps, I'm just going to go and provide the service. It's not that you can't make money, but it's that the client's not having the same experience as if you would take the time to do the 9 steps with them. The great thing that about the beauty space is that it's one of the top 10 industries to be working in a down economy. And so that's great. And I think it's one of the top 10 industries to work in, period. Your job is to make people feel beautiful about themselves, to give them more self-worth, to give them more swagger to their step, to help them feel better about who they are. And that is powerful. And because of that, you need to get paid. And we don't have to gouge our clients, I'm not saying that, but at the same time, what you're doing for them is so powerful that you need to stick around. And the way that you can stick around is by making sure that your income is where it needs to be. And I just, anyway, I just know that this is an exciting time to be in the beauty space and that you can go do this. And whether, again, you chose wisely to be in this industry, because whether it's out there in the market, I mean, did anyone care that the stock market was crashing the other day? Sun still came up. I didn't care. So it's like, wow, if you're playing the stock market, it just means everything's on sale. Go buy stock right now, right? But whether stock markets are up or down, I mean, you get to have someone come in and you get to talk to them and you get to help them with whatever is going on, and you get to make them feel beautiful about themselves, and very, very powerful stuff. And I'm grateful that you're here, and looking forward to seeing what you go out and do as you get out there.